is 97.9 WRMF Palm Beach.
What do you think about this? Jennifer Lopez and Gwyneth Paltrow meet up once a week to drink sangria and steam their lady parts. Any guess on that, Virginia? What do you think? Is that fact or fiction?
That's fiction.
That's fiction, of course. Nope, that's fact.
Fact?
That's what they say.
Once a week?
No, once a month.
Oh, I think you said once a week.
If I did, it's a
You said
month.
steam?
Steam, yeah.
What does that do?
I don't know, but
Is
I
it like
mean,
when your shirt's wrinkled?
I think it's supposed to be like if you go to get a facial, sometimes they'll steam your face and it's supposed to cleanse and get everything really purified, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I got a lot of questions.
I'm going to make an appointment to steam mine today.
I
so.
know it's early, but I want to keep on asking questions about this.
After the show podcast, we got you.
It's time to wake up and let the weirdness begin. It's the KVJ show to start your morning. Kevin is the host, and his skin pigment is whiter than Casper the Ghost. Virginia sounds like this. Nickname Vicious Beast, so don't get her pissed. Jason talks like a spaz, and they love to talk about Bigfoot and stats. So get ready, here we go. You're listening to 97.9 with the KVJ show.
Well, hello, good morning. Welcome to the KVJ show. How are you doing here on this Tuesday?
Good morning. How are you doing? I know this time yesterday you were feeling like the bronchitis was going to get you and the bronch would be back.
Well, that's kind of my nemesis.
You look good, though.
Yeah, well, you know, I kind of, after years of, I fought this my entire life. I've got chronic bronchitis, and anytime anything wonky happens in my life, then, and so I'm always trying to sleep well and eat well and do all that kind of stuff so I never get it. And I started to feel it after the Stars Ball. We had a busy weekend, so if I get a little rundown.
Well, you had an event before the Stars
Yeah.
Ball, too, and then we're out standing in the rain. And
Yeah. So trying to maintain and all that kind of stuff. So it took a little while. But then, yeah, I just yesterday just kind of laid low and hung out. So I think yesterday I won.
Good.
Bronc is down.
Nice.
We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to get too cocky yet, but
Do what you did yesterday again today.
Yeah.
Go home, rest your body.
Yeah.
Have vitamins.
yeah, I went home and made probably wasn't the best choice if you're fighting off disease. I watched a Netflix program called Pandemic. So yeah, that kind of gets you a little concerned about virus and disease. But other than that, it was a pretty good day. So here we go. Looks like Jaybird, you're a little hobbled up today.
Yeah, we don't have to spend much time on it. I know people are, are you guys in best of again? This is boring. I don't want to hear about this guy's back problems, but yeah, it's quite the morning.
I will say, though, I believe last week when you said you're sleeping on your floor again, I predicted you'd be out on Monday.
You did call? I'm not out.
I did.
I was texting Dennys. I go, Dennys, it's going to be a buzzer beater. I couldn't even feed Chewy today.
Oh, wow.
Or give him his medicine. I mean, it was a challenging morning, so I am trying to...
Is Chewy hungry?
I mean, if he's anything like his owner, yeah. So I got to figure that out.
Okay, at least you're beating the odds. Are you still sleeping on the floor or no?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I got to my. I think I'm really doing a lot of pogo stick work. I'm working on this bit.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
maybe you should shelve that.
I don't know if that's what it's from, but I did wake up this morning around 2:00, and it took me so long to go pee.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
That happens when you get older, too.
Well, it wasn't for those reasons.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're doing what we can to be here. That's just basically it. We're trying to, you can tell the show's getting older because we're like, oh, what kind of medicines are you on? What's your ailments?
Tell me about all the things that are wrong with you.
My back, and I laid up yesterday. And,
This sounds like the rec room at the senior center.
oh, my gosh, yeah.
I know.
It's tough around here, isn't it?
I don't want it to be this way.
Okay. We're doing what we can to be here. You can dial us up right now. Obviously, we're on the radio, and we're also on YouTube. Just look for KVJ TV. Search for The KVJ Show.
It's the KVJ dirt of the day. It's the KVJ dirt of the day. Virginia, take it away, because you know we need that dirt of the day.
Well, coming up in just a second in your dirt of the day, some bombs getting dropped in Jessica Simpson's new book, and I am here for it. Details about her relationship with John Mayer and what that was all about, and Tony Romo and what that was all about. Oh, yeah, she is spilling it. I'll share a little snippet or two with you coming up in just a second. Before we get into that, looks like the reports continue of bad behavior in Miami by celebrities that were in town for the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Former professional boxer Floyd Mayweather is under investigation after allegedly assaulting a fan who had asked for a photograph outside of his hotel around 8:30 in the morning. Mayweather allegedly declined, saying, it's too early. I can't even get a good morning first. His security team pushed the fan away, and then I guess Mayweather and he maybe had a little shoving match.
Okay.
The Miami Beach Police Department is launching an investigation to figure out what happened, but maybe he don't like to take a photo at 8:30 a.m. That's early. You know, if you've been out partying all night celebrating the Super Bowl and the festivities, you probably aren't photo ready at 8:30 a.m.
Probably not, but we figured that was going to be the case with people that were just around to do some celebrity sighting in town. And so, you know, you got to figure if you're walking around the Fontainebleau early in the morning, and I think you could just walk right in off the street and kind of like hang out. So,
yes.
You know, I don't think they had extra security for the Super Bowl, so.
I told you I ran into him in the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Vegas.
Did you get in a shoving match with him?
I did not.
Okay.
He's actually not a tall man.
No, he's not.
I was shocked. I was like expecting him to be like this towering boxing figure.
No.
He's a little dude.
Yeah, in boxing they do pound for pound, Virginia. That's
I was impressed.
what it's all about.
I was like, wow, to be that little and cause that much pain, I'm impressed.
Yeah, but they usually cause pain on other little people.
6 minutes in with a name drop, not too bad for Virginia.
Yeah,
No big deal.
She's in mid-season form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other news, here's a little bit of Justin Bieber talking about all the drugs he used to take. Oh, my.
Yeah. He's currently suffering from the like flu.
Oh, yeah.
One of the symptoms is you say like a lot.
Is lean the syrup? Is that what that is?
Yeah, the codeine. Yeah.
And finally, here in Jessica Simpson's new book that is available tomorrow, I guess we're going to get some nuggets about her relationship with John Mayer. She is estimating that they broke up and got back together about 9 different times. She says, I constantly worried that I wasn't smart enough for him. He was so clever, and he treated conversation like a friendly competition that he had to win. She says, my anxiety would spike, and I would start drinking, and that was the start of me relying on alcohol to mask my nerves. She says they were great at intimacy. They were great at loving each other, and that was the easy part. But the talking, the relationship part, that was the complex part. She said that was always on again, off again. It sounds like they came back together for the intimacy.
Well, do you remember the article he gave? He talked about that part of their life, and I believe he compared it with napalm, and he had a bunch of... He got in trouble for that article. I think it was the Playboy article he talked about that.
And they said, too, your body is a wonderland. It's either about her or Jennifer Love Hewitt.
I heard
two.
it's about Hewitt. Because Body was off the first album.
Yeah. Okay. All right. She also goes on to talk about Tony Romo and her. You know, they dated for a little bit, but I guess John Mayer kept trying to get back together with her while she was dating Tony Romo. And John Mayer was actually the reason that Tony Romo broke up with her. He saw a text come through from John, confronted her, accused her of cheating on him, and she said it wasn't true, but he broke up with her right then and there because he thought that she was. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, she had quite a dating life there for a while.
Yes. I mean, she was the hottest cookie in the jar for quite a bit. So good for you, girl. And that's what's going on in your Dirt of the Day.
Looking for some KVJ merchandise and swag? Go to kvjshow.com and click KVJ Gear.
What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? What's on your mind? Are you thinking about? What are you thinking about?
What you think about today, Jay Bird?
So this whole corona flu we keep talking about,
Coronavirus.
coronavirus, I wasn't really that nervous about it. And then yesterday, I was trying to get some surgical masks for a bit we want to do. And everywhere I went to 4 different places, and they're all sold out. And I was talking to one of the women that worked at Publix, and she was saying, yeah, people are legit freaking out. So I started doing some research. I don't know what's real because some of the sites have some information, some websites have got stuff that's, I think, fake. Are there cases in the U.S.?
Yes.
That is a real fact.
That's a fact.
Yeah, there's
nothing in Florida.
Yeah, there's 11 confirmed cases in the U.S. The U.S. has 11, and 420 people have died in China from it.
Okay, so...
And in Wuhan, they just set up a big, massive hospital to try to deal with.
They literally built a hospital in like 3 weeks to handle all the people. Like thousands of people have it, but hundreds have died.
Because the other thing I was reading was it's going quicker than even SARS. Is that true? Have you read that it's kind of
deaths
spreading?
In China have passed the number of deaths from the SARS outbreak in 2002 and 2003. So, and like I said, they're at 420 right now.
But take solace in the fact that, they are catching people that have it and quarantining them. So there's nobody in Florida that has it yet. There's like a California. There's like up in like the Northeast somewhere. There's nobody in Florida has it yet. And the people that are coming down with it, they are quarantining them and making sure that they don't get exposed to anybody else.
Well, it was weird because me and Dennys are at Publix and they were out of them. They're like, all right, no big deal. We go to 3 different other stores. So a total of 4. They were all sold out of them.
Well, think about it. If you're traveling right now, and especially if you travel internationally for work and you have to come in contact with people from Asia, you're like, oh my gosh.
But are people still flying back into the States from China?
Yes.
How are they combating that?
Well, they are bringing U.S. citizens back, and then they're talking about some travel bans from China into the U.S.
They're quarantining U.S. citizens, I think. If you were in that Wuhan area, you got to be locked up on a military base for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks that you just got to chill and be quarantined. I'm still trying to figure out how to get quarantined. Because I would love just 2 weeks just to kind of chill and lay and have a perfectly good excuse. Nobody expects anything out of me.
I'm sorry, guys, I'm quarantined.
It'd be amazing.
Are you sure that's the bronch you've got?
I don't know. I could be coronavirus. I don't know.
Well, you were talking about that pandemic special on Netflix. That does not help anything.
No, well, to stay informed on it and why they are so precautionary is right at the tail end of World War I in 1918, there was a flu pandemic that broke out globally. And this was really before travel is what it is today. And it killed 50 to 100 million people, which was more than had just died in the very massive World War I and World War II combined that was coming up.
Do you know how long that took to kill that many people?
It was just about 2 years. I mean, like 18 months, I think it was.
Wow.
So it wiped people out. They had talked about even, part of the documentary that I was watching. If you watch Pandemic on Netflix, they were looking at mass grave even in Pennsylvania where people were dying at such rapid rates that they would just dig out a huge pit and they would basically chuck you in there because they didn't have time to have funerals for all the people that were dying.
Oh my gosh.
And that was in the U.S.
There's no way that place is not unrested with souls.
Oh my gosh, right?
Oh my gosh.
So that was in the U.S. 100 years ago. And so a lot of the people who are up on trendy disease are saying that it's not a matter of if, but when. And so when you see something like the coronavirus, they take it seriously, and they're really more worried about it spreading in places like Africa where they don't have the kind of medicine that we have. And here they're already working on what they hope will be a vaccine for all flu viruses. But the problem with the flu is it mutates so quickly that by the time they get if you get the flu shot, that's why you got to do it annually, because the flu in a year has completely mutated and it's a different strain.
When you talk about that Netflix special and all those people died in that 18-month period, did they find a vaccination? Is that what happened? Is that how it stopped?
Yeah, I don't know what made it finally happen. I don't know. I think
probably.
I think a big part of it is one, prevention, sanitation. There's a lot of things that you can do, and so when it first starts spreading, there's probably a lot of people. And keep in mind, they didn't have the mass media like we do now, and that would help as well. You have people who are probably walking around not really washing their hands. They don't have the sanitation developments that we do today. So I think that's why for 100 years we've kept pandemics at bay and haven't had anything since then.
We started feeling like we were in a movie by the fourth time. We were out of the masks. What?
Yeah. Well, to make you feel a little bit better, too, I'm not really hearing the most positive things about those masks. Nobody's really said that it's anything that does much to do any prevention.
Of course not. It's a piece of paper or a thin cloth, whatever that crap is.
Yeah.
No way that's going to prevent anything.
What prevents it is quarantine.
Yeah.
That's what prevents it, and you got to stop people that have it from coming in contact with other people.
I mean, what is that really going to do? Even when they did back in the day when they did those drills where the kids had to go underneath the desk because they thought a bomb might come, what's that going to do if a bomb comes?
Your desk is going to do little.
I mean, what are we doing?
Bomb-proof desks. Yeah. What you got on your mind today, Virginia?
Well, I've got some good medical news. You want that?
Sure.
Yeah.
I was excited to read this morning. The FDA has just approved the first treatment for children with peanut allergies. The medicine is called Palforzia, and it promises to lower the chances that an accidental bite of peanuts could cause a severe reaction. Now, it's not a cure, but when given in a certified health facility and with this certified program, the FDA says patients will be able to dramatically decrease the side effects and serious reactions of accidentally ingesting peanuts. So that's good. This is the first time. I know at Rocco's school, we can't pack any kind of peanut butter or any kind of crackers with any peanut butter because there's one kid with peanut allergies.
Okay.
So this is definitely a big thing now in schools. I know a lot of schools have had to go peanut free. So maybe this Palforzia will be a step in the right direction to getting the peanut allergies under control.
Does that mean a kid, if they get the medicine in them, they could enjoy a Reese's peanut butter cup?
They shouldn't, but if there's an accidental bite, this will prevent them from dying. They will never be able to sit down and mow Reese's peanut butter cups. They're just trying to prevent kids from dying when they accidentally ingest a little bit.
Medicine will never come up with something?
I mean, maybe eventually, but this is not that.
Talking a lot about medicine and...
This is just trying to save kids from when they have an accidental bite of peanuts, having a reaction that makes them pass away. And sadly, that's a real thing.
Oh, I know.
There's kids that take an accidental bite of something with peanuts, and 6 hours later, they're dead.
But doesn't it seem like that kind of just happened all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were kids?
Absolutely.
Did this ever happen?
It was not like it is now, so I think it's just a case of just
What happened?
mutation.
What did it start attacking the peanuts?
I don't know. People
Corona, peanuts?
who knows?
What's going on out there?
I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you, like, what the FDA is saying, that if you have a kid that deals with this, call your doctors and look into Palforzia.
Palforzia.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of talk. I think I'll keep what's on my mind, just kind of like in the whole thing to put...
Medical.
Yeah. We're talking about all these viruses and
It's scary out there.
disease and all this kind of stuff. So I will just frame it that if the worst possible scenario happens and you catch corona and you die, the good news here, I got a positive for you. They say death is a euphoric experience. Researchers interviewed people who had near-death experiences, and they found positive words were used by far more frequently negative ones when describing their encounter with the other side.
We've heard that before, especially from near-death experienced people, that, and some scientists believe it too, that if you're dying, there's some kind of, I don't know, chemical that's released to protect you from the horrific things that happen when death is upon us.
Well, I think what happens is you get reunited with loved ones that come to help you cross.
That's what I would like to think. But then you've always got someone say, well, no, that's just a chemical, Virginia, and that's there to protect you.
Chemical or not, I'll take it.
I agree.
I don't care what it is. If I'm getting ready to die and I see my loved ones that have passed away, like my sweet Aunt Gertie coming to help me cross over, that's awesome.
Yeah, my mom's best friend said that when she was passing away, she kept on seeing my mom by the window.
And your mother had passed away before her.
Yeah, she's like, Kay's here. I can say, Kay and my mom keep coming through the window. That's what she had said.
See?
That's pretty cool.
That's very cool. And that gives you such peace and like, okay, I'm going to be surrounded by love and help.
Didn't they say Patrick Swayze's last words as he was going? He was like, I'm going home. Isn't that what happened?
I think that was.
Or did we just make that up?
I think he said, "Don't put my casket in the corner."
That would have been awesome. I found out from that special, he hated that line. He hated that whole "no one puts baby in the corner."
Probably the last 20 years of his life. That's all he heard.
And then we asked him for, hey, come on, Patrick. When we interviewed him, we had him say it for me, and he didn't want to say it at first.
No.
Yeah, because he hated that line.
And by the way, Virginia, I'm just kind of curious. Is every female in your family given an old lady's name? Gertie.
Gertie? Well, I mean, Gertie was up there. She was in her 80s.
Gertie, it might be older than Virginia
It's
as
a
far
tough
as
name,
names.
though, because it rhymes with so. I mean, you have Dirty Gertie, you have Turdy Gertie. You just there's just a lot.
Gertie was short for Gertrude.
Yeah.
Which is a really old name.
we had a Gertrude in our family, too.
That's why you just can't name a kid today Gertie.
You're right. There's no Gertrudes anymore.
There's no Gertrudes.
And that's why. It rhymes with Turdy. Yeah, some of the comments that are coming in. Somebody said, yes, I work at the Lowe's in Royal Palma. We can't keep those surgical masks on the shelf. I was told by one customer people are buying them and shipping them overseas.
Okay. There's a shortage in China. They don't have any surgical masks.
The lady told me people here in the States are freaking out, so there might be both.
Linda said the president of China is urging people to not eat meat because that is how the virus started. So some people think that maybe PETA has started the coronavirus.
Oh, my goodness.
To prove a point?
Yes.
It's getting muddy.
Yeah, it's getting real muddy. And then Michael said, I just flew back from London last week, and every time somebody sneezed, everybody would turn and give them dirty looks.
Sneeze shaming?
Yeah, so now anyone who coughs or sneezes, you will be ostracized.
Quickly.
What are you doing?
Go home now.
Yes. So there you go. Lots of comments going on. They said that Jennifer Lopez's makeup for the halftime show took 10 hours to do.
10 hours?
10 hours to do her makeup.
I mean, what the hell did they do?
I don't know.
I'm not
They
buying
broke it
that.
down. I'm not going to repeat it because it's very boring.
Was it makeup and hair?
No, it was makeup. Yeah.
10 hours.
Yeah. And they did a breakdown of exactly what all they did to set it up and all that kind of stuff. But as I started to read that, I was nodding off, so I'm not going to include that.
I do have a question, though. When you guys as parents, if you do see something inappropriate to where you're like, oh my gosh, I do not want my kid to see that, and you're out in the world, how do you combat that? Do you look at that as, all right, I'm going to teach my kids something now so they don't freak out? Because I know sometimes even people listen to our show and they go, oh, I can't believe you guys said that. My kid heard that.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
Every parent's got to do their own thing. That's first and foremost. So it's your right as a parent to do what you want to do with your kids. For us, for my family, we're very socially liberal, and when things come up and you see things, we just have discussions. I'm very big in choices and consequences. And so I tell them that you could see these things. It doesn't mean that it's right. You're going to see a lot of bad behavior if you sometimes replicate some of these bad behaviors. And oftentimes what I do is I will show the end result of making some poor decisions like drug use and say that is where you wind up. So this plus this, you plus this equals that. You don't want that. So that's just it. So to me, I thank some people for them doing some things like that because you present a nice teachable lesson and a bad example for my child who's like, yeah, I don't think I want that in my life. Yeah, good. That's a good choice.
I like that approach.
That's mine.
I think every case is going to be different, too. So when you're out and about, if you see people doing stuff like, acting an idiot or cursing or going nuts or just being like crazy, like, if you ignore it, I think your kids are confused by it. But if you talk about it, I think you can teach them, okay, this person is acting that way because whatever. Maybe they're on drugs. Maybe they're drinking. You can use it as a moment to say, do you want to look like that?
Yeah, I do like that approach.
Somebody texted in and said, J-Lo practically has on a figure skating outfit. Who cares?
That was the other the other side of it. It was so. There was really nothing in the middle on this one.
Somebody said America just needs to grow up, stop being such a crybaby at everything.
And
They're
stop being
ridiculous.
so, sensitive. What do you care if J-Lo and Shakira are sexy dancing? How does that really impact your life in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, are we all set at a sensitivity about something, though? What doesn't offend you might offend, see what I'm saying? And vice versa.
Let's not be so offended.
I agree. Look, I completely agree with you.
Just focus on your own life and your own little world. And really, the sexy dancing does not affect me.
I was trying to figure out all of this last time. This is kind of weird to me.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said if anybody has a problem with Shakira's outfit, they obviously haven't been to a beach lately. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying.
Oh, my gosh. The bikini bottoms that my daughter and her friends wear are ridiculously skimpy and way smaller than what Shakira had on.
Mm-hmm.
Way smaller. Jay Bird has managed to twist his headphone cord so it's wrapped about 10 times around the base of his chair.
I can't move.
Who gave you that long of a cord?
Dennys!
Dennys! Get in here!
I can't move because of my back.
His back is thrown out, and he's on the floor trying to
I've
undo
never seen
his
anybody
cord.
struggle to do a radio show so much.
It's tough.
I don't think I've ever seen Rush Limbaugh once have to go through this issue.
Oh, he's going through it, though.
Yes, he is. He's topical and in the news today. Yeah, he's got other problems. Not
Poor Dennys.
Yeah.
Is this what you do all day, Dennys? Just clean up aisle 4.
The bird's taking another tumble. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the bird is moving slow, y'all.
Yeah.
How's your back?
It's great, Virginia. Clearly.
This is 97.9 WRMF Palm Beach.
It's the KVJ Dirt of the Day. It's the KVJ Dirt of the Day. Virginia, take it away, because you know we need that Dirt of the Day.
Well, coming up in a second, they had to adjourn early yesterday in Harvey Weinstein's rape trial. What happened to one of his accusers on the stand? I will tell you coming up in just a second. Before we get into that, R. Kelly's ex-girlfriend, Azriel Clary, is now back with her parents. Now that R. Kelly is locked up, she is back at home with her mother and father, and they are organizing a group called Team Truth, and she will be, as a part of her recovery, helping others that are dealing with dysfunctional and abusive relationships. It's this nonprofit that they've started that will now help to protect other young women that were in the same position as her take back control of their lives. So good for you. Her parents are helping her put all that back together. They were very upset when she was with him, and they were very vocal about getting her out. And after quite a few years of her being with R. Kelly, thank goodness he went to jail so they could get her back. Ashton Kutcher is talking a little bit about his relationship with Demi Moore, now that he has moved on. I think he still has a relationship or cares deeply for her daughters. They became very close. Here's Ashton talking a little bit about that.
We don't hang out. I make a really conscious effort to stay in touch with the girls. I love them.
Yeah, right.
And I'm never going to stop loving them, right? And so respecting them and honoring them and rooting for them to be successful in whatever they're pursuing. At the same time, I'm not their father. I was never trying to be their father. I always had respect and honored Bruce, and I think, he's a brilliant human being and a wonderful man.
Okay.
There you go. Everybody loves everybody.
I want to get the real story.
Yeah.
That's in front of a camera.
Kutcher's flowering it up for us. What do you really think?
Come on.
And finally here, Harvey Weinstein's rape trial had to be adjourned early yesterday after the accuser, Jessica Mann is her name, she was on the stand and being hammered by questions from Harvey's lawyer when she revealed she was sexually assaulted, not just by Harvey, but also when she was a much younger girl. And she had basically a panic attack and a breakdown, and they had to adjourn the whole trial yesterday. So I think they will resume testimony today, but as it was, she was not able to continue because of the grilling that was going on by Harvey's lawyers. And that is what's going on in your Dirt of the Day, brought to you by the Paddle Fest. It happens this Saturday at Harborside in Jupiter starting at 9 a.m. It's all kinds of fun family activities and paddle competitions, cash prizes.
Okay.
When I heal up, I'm going to get on that board.
You'd be awful right now.
I got 4 days to heal up. I'm going to get this.
You need
I'm
it.
prime.
You can do it. So we'll see you out there this Saturday for Paddle Fest at Harborside.
Celebrity birthday today includes Gavin DeGraw, turning 43 years old today.
At one point, they were calling him the new Billy Joel.
Yeah.
At one point, they were.
Yes.
I don't know what happened.
It was when he was young.
It was when he was young. And then I think, didn't he get into a weird fight on a street one night?
2011, he got really hammered, got mugged. Yeah, beat up pretty badly. Yeah.
That could happen.
Still recovering 9 years later. Also got some other birthday stuff going on here today. Jonathan Sheen. It's from Jody. Also, my daughter Genevieve. Happy birthday from Dad and Mom and Muffin. And happy 11th birthday to Lindsay Jane from Mom, Dad, Lemon Drop, Panda Kitty, and Felix Kitten. So there you go. Got a birthday you want on the KVJ show, you can just let us know. Mail at kvjshow.com, mail at kvjshow.com. Now, what we're going to do here is we are going to give you 3 different categories. You can either choose from a text, a song, or an app. I will give you one, then you just got to tell me which member of the KVJ show's phone it came from. It's either mine, Virginia, Jaybirds, or producer Dennys, okay?
Got it.
All right. Simple enough here. Okay, we'll start with you, Brent. You get to pick the category, okay?
Sounds good. Let's go with the text.
Fine choice.
Text message.
That's tricky, and that's the hardest.
Okay.
Do you think that's the hardest?
Yeah,
Here we go. You think it's the toughest?
I do.
I disagree with the witch.
Well, what's new?
All right, well then whose phone could this have come from, Brent? The text message reads, "They forgot all the sauces and I'm pretty bleeping distraught about it. Dinner is ruined."
All right, maybe you're right.
All right. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say that's the bird's phone.
Gonna say that is the bird's phone, yes.
And I was distraught. They forgot every sauce, and it was a meal that needed sauces, y'all.
That's tough.
That does ruin a meal, by the way.
Sure.
All right, I'll stop ranting, but yeah.
We've seen it happen to you.
Mm-hmm. All right, Christine, it is your turn. You can pick a category, either a text, app, or song.
I'll go text.
She's going to do a text as well. Okay. All right. This text reads, "How dank is it? It's purple with red hairs. How much?"
Can you say it again?
Okay, the text reads, "How dank is it? Is it purple with red hairs? How much?" Whose phone is that text message on? What do you think here, Christine?
Is it Virginia?
Is it Virginia? No. That is incorrect.
Doesn't dank mean weed?
Wait, they're giving away.
Oh,
I
sorry.
mean, this is the easiest game.
I thought you said bank. I couldn't understand.
Dank.
She thought she said bank, not
Oh,
dank.
bang.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was Kevin's
Dank.
fault.
Totally
Yes.
Kevin's fault.
Yeah.
That is my fault. Okay.
Brigging
Sorry about
stuff.
that. Yeah. Shockingly, that was Denny's phone that was on. Yeah.
If I knew you said dank, I would have maybe gotten it.
See, Kevin, I think you have to give her a new one.
I will work on my pronunciations.
If anyone needs to work on that, it's me.
All right, let's go back to Brent here. KVJ Smartphone Jeopardy. What is your category here, Brent?
Let's go with an app this time.
Gonna go with an app. Okay. Which KVJ show member has the Bible app on their phone?
We all need it.
All right, I'm gonna say that's Kevin.
Gonna go with Kevin. That is correct. Yes, very nice. All right, Brent is breezing through this.
Yeah, I tried to download it, but it wouldn't let me. He's like, "You're not allowed to. You're not worthy."
Really? I think actually it's if you really need it, that's whose phone it should go on.
I
Yes.
agree.
Right. It's not about worthy.
It was a joke. Please don't get mad at me.
All right, Christine, you need this one to stay alive here in KBJ Show. Smartphone Jeopardy, what is your category, text, app, or song?
Okay, I'm going to try text again.
She's going to try text again. Okay. Whose phone is this on? It says, long live the cougar. It's not like they're getting married. Just have fun. That is a text message on whose phone
my
here,
God.
Christine? Long
I
live
don't
the
know.
cougar. It's not like they're getting married. Just have fun.
We've gone through we've gone through everybody in the show.
Well, all but
Jaybird.
two. Gonna go with Jaybird. No, unfortunately, that is Virginia's phone.
He was the sauce. He was the sauce.
He was the sauce guy.
And she's a cougar. You're talking about cougars.
I'm pro cougar.
Yeah.
Are you? You're considered a cougar right now?
Probably.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
Brent.
married, so-
It is all over. If you can get this last one correct, that was Virginia's phone that had that. You've only got one text message left. We got some songs and apps. What category do you want here in KBJ Smartphone Jeopardy?
Let's finish it out with a text message.
Finish it out with a text message. The final text message. Actually, I'm sorry. Based on the rules, I have to take text message off because it's by process of elimination. There's only one left. So we can only get through three.
The way these rounds going, though, I'm not sure they may struggle. I don't know.
Brent's doing great. Yeah, Brent is doing really well. Christine, unfortunately, is 0 for 2. So what would you like, a song or an app here, Brent?
Well, let's go with the song. We haven't tried that yet.
Okay. Got to go with a song. Whose phone is this off of?
That sounds awfully jazzy-like, so I'm going to go with Virginia.
Yeah, that's actually Zydeco with I'm Gonna Walk. That is off of Virginia's phone. What is that, Cajun music, Virginia?
That is the band that we just signed for the Crawfish Festival.
Okay.
Okay, I'm like, they're local?
No.
Oh, okay. No,
They're from New Orleans.
Then now you can say it's terrible. Okay, very nice. All right, congratulations there, Brent. If you're looking for love, you're in the right place. South Florida is the best in all of America for people looking for love in many different ways. They actually just did a new study that ranked all 50 states from the best place for single people who don't want to be single anymore to the worst. And Florida is number 1 on the list. Now, they based the rankings on factors like the percentage of single people and things to do on dates. In fact, I saw number 1 was restaurants to go to. So if you wanted to go on a date, like South Florida is number 1 in the country. And I always say this too, because people ask like, okay, what kind of restaurants do you have? I'm like, what do we not have? I've been everywhere. You talk about New York, Chicago, LA, even New Orleans, some of these great food cities. I would put South Florida at the quality of restaurants and the amount of restaurants that we have up against anybody. And I think this thing proved out that we are number 1 in the country for that.
We have a major pierogi deficiency here in South Florida, and that is a spot or a hole we could fill. So you said, what don't we have? We don't have that many pierogies, my friend.
Really?
I mean, that's a fact.
Okay. So we need an all pierogi restaurant.
That's something I would invest in. I think a pierogi food truck would do amazing.
To jump on the high carb craze?
Yeah, honestly,
I'd be surprised if there wasn't already a pierogi food truck.
Yeah.
Well, if there is, they're not doing great marketing because I've never heard of them. When have you heard about pierogies being running wild in South Florida?
Maybe you need to find them and partner with them and help them with their marketing.
Well, clearly there's a problem because
He'd be like a monkey selling bananas. He'd eat all the profits.
Oh, I know, right?
I would love to be involved in a pierogi, just food, anything. No one's talking pierogies anymore.
Now, what exactly is a pierogi, if anybody does not know?
It is, so basically it's this dough and they put potato in it and cheese in it, and you can make them different ways. Even the ones that, and people get on me because the only ones I ever get are the ones at Publix in that Mr. T's form. Even those are amazing. I make a pierogi pizza where
Okay.
it's a billion calories. It's not good for you. If you're looking to get thin, it's not your thing.
The best way to cook a pierogi is to pan sear it in butter.
Yes.
Yes.
That tells you right there what you're dealing with. It's a potato, pasta, little. It's like a ravioli cousin.
Okay.
Fat Kevin, I cannot believe you've never danced with these things before.
No, they weren't really big where I grew up.
Panda loves them. I think it's a Polish thing.
It is, yeah.
Panda loves them because he's half Polish, and so
Okay.
I learned all about pierogies.
See, this is the conversation nobody's having, especially in South Florida. So you just said we got everything. I'm sorry, Ralston, but we just don't.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Somebody's looking for a job opportunity. I think Jaybird would keep you solely in
Yes.
business.
If you already have a pierogi truck, this guy wants to help you market.
Let me know.
Yeah, not shockingly, best states for single people who don't want to be single. Florida, number 1. California, Texas, that's your top 3. The worst in America. Sorry to say, if you're in West Virginia and you're looking for love, keep looking.
Move.
Yes.
You really should move, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably should move. West Virginia, Arkansas, North Dakota, the worst in the country for that. And the reason why I say that South Florida is number 1 for love, another study that just came out of the 182 biggest cities in the U.S. talking about where to get married. They've got the first couple of cities. Orlando is number 1, and then you got Miami at number 7 on the list. Looking at factors like cost, which I bet South Florida is not good for cost.
Oh my gosh, no.
But wedding chapels and venues per capita, limo rentals, bridal shops. So all the accessories you need for it, we got plenty of. It's just not going to be cheap.
Exactly.
I got a wedding coming up too for Bigfoot. I'm going to be his best man along with the other guy that gave his kidney. We're both going to be his best man.
Aw.
Isn't that fun?
You can get like a kidney giving sandwich.
It really is. It's going to be me and the other guy that did it, Rob.
Rob.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, I like that.
But it's going to be here in Florida, like you're talking about.
I got to tell you, I know that it's not anything that's up for discussion right now, but I did see today, talking love and marriage and all that stuff, Domino's has come out with a pizza-shaped wedding ring.
Oh, I love it. That is awesome.
Yeah.
A pizza-shaped wedding ring? Is it a pizza or is it a ring?
It's a ring that's, I've got a photo of it up here. In fact, we tweeted it out if you haven't seen it yet. It's on the KVJ Show Twitter. It's a diamond pizza slice engagement ring. And so the ring, where you'd have the stone, it looks like a piece of pepperoni pizza, and it's got a couple small diamonds in it, and whatever the pepperonis are, like some kind of, I don't know what they would be.
Ruby or something.
Yeah, ruby. Yeah.
I love it. I think it's fun.
Yeah. That is a good thing for love. So there you go. Also, while we're talking love, real quick shout out to Haley and Maggie. They have sent in a little anniversary shout out to my husband, Andy. Happy birthday, Jonathan. There's a lot of names on here. Jody had sent that all in. So happy anniversary there. I guess it's Andy and Jody that are celebrating. So lots of love in the air here on the KVJ Show. To me, I believe for the most part that racism is something that is a learned behavior. If you see kids playing together, they can play with kids of all different creeds and colors, and everything is all fine. It's just when we get to be stupid adults that somebody is ingrained in you that the false belief that somebody is different because of the way they look. But after reading this, I guess maybe it makes some sense. And if you've ever claimed that you've got a pet that is racist, there might be something behind it. They say that since animals are colorblind, they're racist against people not the color of their owners because it confuses them. and they have a trust and a bond with somebody of that color. So all they see is black or white. So it's not that they've got, that they prefer one or the other. It just depends upon whomever their owner is.
Sure.
If there is a severe change in the hue of that person, then they look at them suspiciously because they're like, you don't appear the way the person who I trust does.
Chewy, my dog, definitely has issues with anybody he doesn't know. If he actually tries to, he does not like Dennys. Chewy has an issue with Dennys. It's weird.
Is it a hippie thing, do you think?
I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. I think Denny's always walking in there, milling around his book bag.
Some do. There are a lot of things, and I know this is true, too. They've talked about, we always had this, especially when I was growing up, anyone in a uniform, the mailman, delivery people, police officers, things like that. But when I was a kid growing up, our dog, especially the one that we had a big issue with anyone in a uniform, and maybe there's something to that as well. I don't think that they hated the armed services. There couldn't be anybody that's more pro-military than my dad.
But how will you ever honestly figure this out? I mean, you tell you can ask a dog a question.
Yeah, but they can do studies on them, and they can find out things about them, like to know that they're colorblind, and they can, They do these kind of studies where they bring in people with this and that and whatever, and they're like going, okay, through observational sciences, they're able to come to conclusions and hypotheses.
It makes sense, though, when you think about it. I mean, think about it like a dog. You're protecting your owner, and this is something that looks different to you, and you don't understand it, so you're not taking any chances.
Right.
That's it.
That's just what they know. They know safety comes in people of this color and somebody who is not that color. And to them, what looks radically different, they're like, okay, I don't know about this one. I'm not sure. And so that's why sometimes they might treat him differently. So I guess it kind of makes sense. I know you're not buying into science and study.
No, I'm listening. And just because someone prints something on an article about science doesn't mean it's real.
I hear you, but to me, I think it makes sense. To me, it seems logical.
I'm over here just listening to what you got to say.
Have you ever heard anybody ever say that about an animal?
Yes, I've heard several people say that about their animal. I don't have animals, so I can't say from personal experience, but I've heard people swear by it.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said, I work for USPS, and they say the reason dogs bark at us is because they see us come to the house, and they bark so that we leave, so that they're doing their job. That part I do understand.
Absolutely. And anybody who comes bringing packages, I think they bark at the UPS, the Post Service, the FedEx. They bark at every guy.
Yeah, I mean, my dog Chewy does have weird tendencies. I feel like if there's females over, he gets protective more than if dudes were over.
Chewy got walls?
I think Chewy's got walls too. I think me and Chewy are so similar.
You both have health issues. You both got walls.
But I have noticed that, but I was wondering, is that just a coincidence or is there something to that? Or is Chewy just protective of anybody that's not my family that he doesn't know?
I mean, maybe he's seen girls around you and you react like, and so he reacts off of your vibe.
No, and first of all, that's not how I act around girls. I'm like, hey, you want to come over? That's not what I do.
Some people are saying, too, that, I've noticed that. In fact, we had got a rescued dog from Miami, and there was like a certain race that they believed that the dog had been abused, and now the dog definitely is very skittish of people that have that skin tone. So I could see that being an issue. There are a lot of things that come, I know, with dogs, anything from smell to sensing fear. They always say if you're coming up to greet a dog, go with a fist out so they can kind of smell you and get a second to, because they don't know. They're you know what? They're just really like we are. They are trying to quickly gather information and say, can I trust this person or not?
Well, just think about all the people out there. There's some people you meet, they're so peaceful and cool, and then there's other people you meet, they're like, hey, leave me alone. That's going to be the same way with animals. There'll be some cool animals, there'll be some mean ones.
So, interesting little thing there. Somebody said, I worked in animal hospitals for over 20 years, and I remember a couple different veterinarians saying that in the past that certain dog breeds were trained to chase down prisoners, and at one point specific breeds were taught to chase escaped slaves, and at the time most slaves were black, so some breeds still have that instinct. That's crazy. How about that? So there you go. Some interesting little stuff there. Learning about animals here today. It is Dennys or Animal. And we've got Noah here that is going to be playing along from Wellington. Now, I understand that Noah is 16, and you've been trying to play Denny's or Animal for a while, Noah?
For a little bit, yeah.
For a little bit.
All the time.
How do you think you do when you hear other people playing? Do you feel like you do pretty well at this game?
Yeah, I feel like I do. I get a fair amount, right?
Get a fair amount. Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I know Denny's has really gone out of his way to make this game very challenging.
Oh, it's
here.
kind of like Noah and the Ark. Got animals.
Yeah, you're right. It all kind of ties in together perfectly here today. All right, so let's see how you do. Testing your animal knowledge here with a round of Denny's or Animal. These sounds you're going to hear either made by our producer Denny's or by the real animal. Okay, Noah?
All right.
Okay, we're going to start you off with some seagulls here today. What do you think? Denny's or Animal here? Oh, it's like a peaceful day at the beach, isn't it?
That's peaceful.
Oh.
Kind of sounds like Virginia laughing.
Maybe she got a little seagull in her.
Just a little bit.
All right, what do you think about that, Noah? Is that Denny's or Animal?
I'm thinking that's going to be Animal.
You're going to think that is an animal, the real seagull making that noise, and I'll say you are correct.
Noah!
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. He really knows his stuff here. All right, next up here, what we got for you is chickens in a coop. Chickens in a coop. Are you ready for this, Noah?
Yep.
Okay.
Coop, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, there's chickens in a coop. It sounds a lot like in Finding Nemo when they were they had the seagulls in that, but those are actually chickens. What do you think, Noah? Is that Denny's or Animal?
I'm thinking that's Denny's.
Going to go with Denny's on that.
I'd love to hear that again, Kev.
Oh, I hear you, yeah. You hear them just talking to each other. It's like a language all their own.
Does have a chicken sound to it?
Yeah, it does. It's a tough, challenging one, but you got it correct there, Noah. That is actually Denny's making that noise. And on Sunday, very topical, Punxsutawney Phil. Did you see that Groundhog? He came out, and for only the first time ever in history, 2 years in a row, he's predicted an early spring. Did
That's
you know
good.
that, Virginia?
I like an early spring.
No, that's bad for us. That means it's going to get hot earlier.
Come on, Sinicky. What are you wishing for?
Yeah.
Didn't they say Phil's going bye-bye? They're going to make a robotic?
Phil don't know.
No, they're not. No, that's what PETA's saying. That PETA,
Okay, all right.
PETA makes a lot of dumb demands that nobody listens to.
Because I think they treat Phil pretty cool, right?
I think he has a better life than I do. To be honest with you, I would trade places. Let him come do the damn radio show. All right, so we've got a groundhog seeing his shadow. Very topical here. What do you think about this, Noah? Is this Denny's or Animal?
Shadow, woo, 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 shadow, woo.
I didn't know Punxsutawney Phil spoke.
Oh, he's magical.
Skilled.
That had to be from Sunday.
Because you're right, he saw the shadow. Well, that is topical.
Yeah, and he saw it, and he said it, and you can see.
Shadow.
Yeah, so.
Honestly, though, that is what Denny sounds like when he gets tickled in his belly. I'm not even kidding you.
All right, no, is that Denny's or Animal? What do you think on that one?
Why are two grown men tickling each other?
I think you know, Virginia.
No, it was for entertainment purposes.
Yes, that's what some
Okay.
people call
You
it.
keep telling yourself that.
All right, no, what do you think, Denny's or Animal?
I'm going to have to say Denny's.
Okay, no, you're right. You really do know your Denny's or Animal.
3 for 3 in the arc.
Yeah, congratulations. Yes, no, you do know animals. Congratulations. We got a nice little gift for you, and thanks for coming on today, okay, bud?
Thank you so much.
All right, you're very welcome. Yeah, in fact, people love groundhogs, or they love Bill Murray. I'm not sure, or maybe they love Jeeps. I don't know, but they did the best and worst rated Super Bowl ads. Ad meter went through, and they tracked a lot more. I saw some people came up with their own individual lists, and their judging on were terrible. This one sounds pretty right. The Groundhog Day commercial with Bill Murray about Jeeps, #1. That was the best and highest rated Super Bowl commercial I can't deny it. I thought it was a great, if you love the movie, I thought the whole thing, I thought it sold the product well. It was a good tagline. It was amusing through the whole thing. Probably the funniest commercial I saw.
Yeah, I probably saw that movie when I was either around between Cannon and Mag's age, maybe 12 or 13. Would they like that movie if they saw it today? Does that hold up for the kids?
I don't know. I can try.
Would Cannon like that?
I don't know.
I turned Rocco on to Home Alone over Christmas, and he still watches it like on a weekly basis.
That one does translate. Yeah, the one that probably, if I had to rate my son on the movies he absolutely loved, The Waterboy with Adam Sandler. My son does already love football, but he loved The Waterboy.
I'm not putting no Adam Sandler movie with our boy in there. No.
Oh no, Rocco couldn't handle that kind of language.
Rob Schneider's in that
Oh,
movie.
Rob
I'm not putting Rob Schneider on my television in my house.
Oh, I thought it was a language issue. It's right. Rob Schneider is.
Yeah, like
in
Virginia has a language issue.
Well, that's why I was
we
like,
don't care about cursing. We have a thing against Rob Schneider.
Funny enough, that's the one movie I really like him in. I like Rob Schneider. You
He was
can
good,
do it, yeah.
He's likable in that.
He was.
He's likable there, not in our studio.
Till you
Not
interview
in
him.
person.
Second best Super Bowl commercial, according to Ad Meter, was Hyundai's Smart Pack. I thought that was good, too. I like that. If you saw that one, had some big cameos in there, and they played off the Boston accent. Google's Loretta, that was still the third best commercial, according to Ad Meter, even though it was sad. People
That
thought
was
it
the
was
one
good.
that made me cry.
Yeah, made a lot of people cry.
I think people like crying sometimes. I think it reminds you can feel, Virginia.
Well, it's just beautiful, and I mean, it's just a great commercial.
I don't even know what it was. Is there any way you can explain that to me in 10 seconds or less?
Dude's wife dies. It's all their memories together.
That's pretty depressing.
Yeah, kind of was.
But it's beautiful.
Number 4 was Doritos The Cool Ranch with Sam Elliott and Lil Nas X. That was the 4th favorite.
Really?
I just rewatched that today because I'm like, maybe I didn't get it. I watched it again. I'm like, I still don't get it.
It wasn't that good.
No, it wasn't the 4th best. Rocket Mortgage is Comfortable with Jason Momoa was 5th.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that was better than the Doritos.
I had to rewind that one and watch it several times just because I was like, wow. And then they got Lisa Bonet in there.
That was good.
I loved everything about that.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the more amusing ones. But I for the most part, agree with Ad Meter's list. The Doritos is the only one I don't. The worst ads, people didn't like the political campaign ones. Trump's didn't do well. Mike Bloomberg's didn't do well. The Pop-Tarts Fix the Pretzel did not do well. That Quibi bank heist, my wife, when that played, she's like, that's stupid.
It was stupid.
Yeah, and a lot of people agree. They didn't like that. And the Squarespace Winona in Winona.
That's going to be tough. You and your team for months are trying to come up with that clever, funny Super Bowl
Oh, yeah.
commercial. And then you put all that work in there and everyone hates it.
That would be
And
tough.
you paid all that money.
Yeah, it's
Well,
tough.
I would imagine there's probably a lot of ad agencies that got fired yesterday or even today because of these things coming up saying, we gave you all this money, you had all this time, and that's what you came up with.
And there were a few commercials that kind of played it straight. They were just regular, boring commercials. And you wonder, were they afraid to take a chance?
Did they not have the creative team?
Yeah, because if you're going to spend the money, you better have it stand out.
Agreed.
I could not agree more.
Yeah, that's why they say Jeep Groundhog Day was the biggest winner in the Super Bowl. There is something that goes with this. The attitude and the money that you have will dictate a lot of the overall persona that you have. And they found, according to this new study, men who drive fancy cars are more likely to be self-centered, argumentative, stubborn, disagreeable, and unempathetic.
I mean, is that really shocking?
No.
I mean, that's been out for a while.
We know. We see them. I see them at red lights. We see you in your Lambo. We see you, balding guy, in your convertible Corvette. We know you.
Could you ever be a balding guy in a Lambo, as you say? And he
No,
could be...
the balding guy is in the Corvette, not the Lambo.
Okay.
Get it straight.
Either way, is there any way that guy could be cool? Is there at least a few of them out there?
Sure. I mean, there's going to be exceptions to every rule, but I think a lot of times it lends itself to, I'm going to rev my engine and be douchey.
Well, that story you had, even with what, Johnny Corvette or that, who's the guy that you...
Johnny Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Yeah. The guy that used to back his red Ferrari up into the handicap spot there at the Twin Peaks on Palm Beach Lakes.
And he was able-bodied.
Completely able-bodied.
But didn't he beep at you? And he had an attitude. And
Yeah, no, I think that was the Jack Truck guy in Boca that had the truck farts.
yeah.
Kevin makes a lot of people in cars mad.
Yeah, he does.
A lot of people beep at Kevin.
I don't know why. I'm driving at a good rate. I'm not slow. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Both when you're a pedestrian and another driver.
Well, you know what? The problem, the only place where I get any kind of hate is Boca. And to me, I put it more on Boca than me. So Johnny Ferrari never beeped at me. I just noticed he was parked that way. And then I saw when he came in, because my wife and I are like going, so who is the guy? Because we'd seen him on several occasions. And I'm like going, because I was sitting around looking, I'm like, okay, where's the handicapped person?
Yeah,
and there wasn't anybody.
Where's the chair?
There was no one that had any kind of handicap issues. And then the second time we were there, we saw him pull in. He goes, vroom, really fast, vroom, and he backs in, and he comes right in. The emergency exit thing that you're only supposed to use if it's an emergency, he comes in that, and he sits right down, and he's like going, got a new watch, y'all want to see it? And to the girls there, and I was just like, that's definitely him.
He backed his car in to park.
Yeah, and he revs the entire time. He goes, vroom,
why is that such a characteristic of people that back? I'm not saying everybody, because I know there's some nice people that back in their cars, but why do the people who back in their car, why are the most of the time, are they the D-bags?
It's a production, the revving, the look at me, the I want you to see this and take notice. I'm going to take longer to park, so I tie everybody else up, because when I pull out, I want it to be all about me.
So many times when we get a mean comment on social media, I'm not kidding you. A lot of times the profile pic is them with a car that's backed into a parking spot. That's the profile pic.
Well, you know what it is? It's a profile. And a profile is coming to a conclusion from the sum parts. So you could say just because somebody backs into a space doesn't make them a little jerky. But if you put all these other elements together, and if you add in 6 other factors, yeah, you pretty much have spelled out.
You fit into a role.
Right.
You're right. If you're just a person that just backs in, I'm not talking about you.
Yeah.
But there is something to where when you back in your car, there's a good chance you have to check yourself.
Because
we see you, and we know you think you're a cool bird.
Because if you are self-centered, argumentative, stubborn, disagreeable, unempathetic, there are certain things that you would notice about your behavior that are the byproducts of being that way. That's how you can come to these conclusions.
And if you walk into the restaurant and you show all the waitresses your new watch because you're so proud of it, and they're just scraping by to make minimum wage, you're a douche.
Yeah. Well,
that's you. You're a douche. And the waitresses, they go in the back and they make fun of you. They laugh at you.
I don't know. Some may like them. It depends, man. You say that, but some chicks like jerky guys. It's unfortunate.
Well, no, they like the jerky guy's money.
Right.
They don't really necessarily like
they
the
don't
jerky
like his
guys.
personality.
Yeah.
No girl's gonna like you for you.
They tolerate it to get
stuff
to that Super Bowl party and to sit in those seats and to do all that kind of stuff. It's like going, oh gosh, ugh. I gotta deal with this guy for this.
It's a give and take.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike M in the chat room's kind of defending, backing in. I don't know, Mike M. Might want to look within.
I would just say,
have you ever shown a waitress your watch, Mike M?
Like I say, backing him by itself,
yes,
doesn't necessarily make you an a-hole, but you throw in some of these other things, then yes. The researchers say the reason is because those personality traits are tied to wanting high-status products, as you might imagine. So I would assume, what they say is if you're driving the higher-end luxury vehicles that you would tend to have all these unfavorable personality traits. But is that necessarily true? Now, in South Florida, our roadways are jammed with every kind of luxury car imaginable. But does that mean that you pretty much associate a-holes with a Mercedes or an Audi or a Bentley or whatever? Because I don't know that I necessarily do.
No.
So my question is, in South Florida, the biggest a-holes drive what? What is that car in South Florida?
I don't want to pick on anybody who drives a Mustang.
But.
Dude, I've known a few people that drive a Mustang, and they're just not. They were jerks, man.
I have a tender ear, and I don't like anybody who gets around me and revs. And I notice Mustang people love to rev and peel out and squeal the tires and all that. And I'm just tender over here.
Mustang, you're revving your engine, you're backing in.
Like I said, all those things, you start adding them together.
You're wearing sunglasses in the club. It's 10 p.m. Now we're getting a profile here.
Uh-huh.
We see you.
So they're saying that people who drive fancier cars, according to this new study, are more likely to be self-centered, argumentative, stubborn, disagreeable, and unempathetic because those personality traits are tied to wanting high-status products. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I wouldn't deny it. I'm sure there probably is a lot of things that go in with that. And as we're asking here, in South Florida, from what you've observed, the biggest a-holes drive what? And yeah, a lot of people were saying those kind of like luxury vehicles, Mercedes, classic a-holes, G-Wagons. They're people that are compensating for more than just their male pattern baldness. You got your BMWs, you got all those kind of like luxury vehicles, some people are saying. I think a lot of it has to do with experience. And my question is, maybe is there something that is not a luxury vehicle that is actually the worst? And I tell you, in South Florida so far, what is winning by a landslide is lifted trucks.
Yeah.
Somebody said the lifted trucks kind of guys are obnoxious and they think they're better than everybody else. My personal experience, that truck that I had the issue with, truck fart guy in Boca, it was a massive, huge lifted truck that was one of the biggest vehicles I've ever seen on the road.
And then he probably backed into 3 spaces. You ever see that move when someone takes up 3 or 2 spaces and you can't get it because their car and their eyes are better than, and it is, it's better than mine, but they're taking up the spaces. I love that move.
He had a super loud, obnoxious horn. It sounded like it belonged on a boat. So yeah, that from my own personal experience, and I got to say that right now, the responses that we are getting is the lifted trucks.
If you had to guess, is that guy married? The truck fart guy?
Yeah,
or is he
but his wife is sad a lot.
She's definitely sad.
Oh, she cries in the shower because she doesn't want anybody to see the tears.
I think
she sings "Where Have All the Cowboys Gone."
She quietly drinks in the shower.
That's it.
Sometimes drinking in the shower is fun.
Sometimes it's very sad.
Somebody said, I think the biggest a-holes in South Florida drive a Prius. I'm on 95, and the Prius in front of me is doing 66 mile per hour in the middle lane. Shaking my head. Luke from Stewart.
That's more annoying than jerky, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you're going slow, you're annoying, but you're not necessarily like outwardly being douchey.
Because you're actually following the speed limit. You're annoying.
Maybe you're scared to drive. I see people on the road all the time that look scared to drive.
Oh, you've noticed.
And they're going slow because they're just afraid of life.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
So we're getting lifted trucks far and away right now are winning, and the very unscientific KVJ poll that's going on right now. Some honorable mentions for Dodge Challengers. Out there, you seeing that kind of the muscle car thing.
I'm always afraid of those because some of the cop cars are those. And so you never want to, pass a Dodge Challenger going too fast because if it's an undercover cop, they'll pop you.
And we're also getting several calls for this. Ryan, in South Florida, the biggest a-holes drive what? What do you think?
I want to say they drive Audis. They are the biggest a-holes because it starts with A for a-hole.
All right, so you see the association.
Honestly, yeah, I mean, every time I'm either behind an Audi or in front of an Audi, they always dip in between traffic, flying down the road, or they slam on their brakes out of nowhere. It happens every time.
Okay. Yeah, and I think it's based on our own experiences. But even Eric from Boca had called in, and he said Audis truly are the worst people. And I work at a body shop, so I see all kinds of different cars.
Interesting.
And I will tell you, the owners of Audis are the absolute worst in South Florida.
Well, he would know.
Yes. So we've got lifted trucks number 1, Audis at number 2 on the worst. Anything else you want to throw at us, you can, 877-979-9763. Piggybacking off the slow Prius, somebody said I live by Wilton Manors, and the amount of Maserati and Porsche cars going below the speed limit on my way to work. Please rev your engine and flip and move. Some of them are protecting their cars so much they drive super slow. That actually could be it.
Yeah. If you're in a hurry, it does suck. I get it. But it's still not as scary as the hot dogs that rev and then peel out and cut in and out of traffic. I'll take somebody going slower any day over somebody like freaking out and peeling out.
Okay, so far we got lifted trucks number 1, Audi's 2, Prius number 3. Somebody said, okay, just to defend lifted trucks, I have a lifted truck. And I'm a girl, and yes, I back into spaces, but it's only because you ever try parking a truck with other cars close around you? Chances are you're going to hit another car because the truck is too wide. LOL. Stop hating on lifted trucks.
A lot of people are getting out our case, giving us the business because we're going after people who back in.
I would never hate on a lifted truck driven by a girl. She's probably a great driver.
Oh, you're going to make this about gender? Okay, cool. She just wants to make sure she keeps the men angry in 2020, Kevin.
Okay, well, that's good. She's working hard at that.
Consistency, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Ow! There's a lot of dumbass criminals to talk about, baby. It's the whacked out news. People breaking the law. Ha ha, fighting in the nude. Ha, drunk people pooping in the street. Ha ha, it's the whacked out news.
Yeah, what?
So many people on meth. Ow!
Ooh, is this a deal breaker for you? A 41-year-old woman in St. Petersburg, Florida, got into a drunk argument with her fiance on Friday night. And in the course of that argument, she got herself some dog poo and then smeared it into his face.
All right, you know what? That is a finishing move. Girl made a statement.
Yeah, Walsh Pennington, I got to say, I'm out.
I'm out. Wow.
You can't get past that one.
That's a tough one to get past. Yes.
Maybe she don't want to get past it.
She got arrested for domestic battery. No word if the wedding is still on or if it is off.
I also think the law should come up with like a weird charge too, because that's so over the top. You should get another, I don't know, 30 days in the clink for just being overly weird.
You think so, huh? Tag on more jail time. A 38-year-old guy in Texas shaved his beard off, then got arrested after threatening to kill a coworker for making fun of his freshly shorn face.
Oh my goodness.
He made a big move.
Kill?
Yeah. Well, it's Texas. They got big beards. And they got big paybacks.
Simmer down. You need to sit down and have a big beer and just chill.
Wow. There are 3 students at the Florida Institute of Technology in Melbourne, Florida here. Apparently they're a little bored. They couldn't find anything entertaining to do in sweet old Melbourne. So they decided to go to a construction site and climb on top of a radio tower on the roof of a 7-story tall building there in Melbourne.
Oh my.
And then apparently while they were there, they started pointing like that little, green laser pointers at pedestrians as they were walking by. Some people started freaking out, thinking maybe there was a hitman up there or something was going on. So cops were called. When officers arrived, the teens told the cops that they were bored and they just felt like messing with people.
Ay, ay, ay.
They were arrested and charged with trespassing. So there you go. It's a fun little Friday night there in Melbourne. A senior bond trader in London who was most likely making 7 figures just got suspended by Citigroup for stealing food from the cafeteria.
Dude, what are you doing?
You make 7 figures.
And you're stealing from the cafeteria? You big dummy.
That's weird.
That is so weird.
It's amazing. Some super rich people are super tight, and then you're like, what is going on?
I
Why?
had a friend tell me that. So I had a friend of mine that used to be a member at the Breakers, and he'd be over there all the time talking to super rich people.
Yeah.
And he said super rich people steal a lot. Like they'll take like a fancy vase from the hotel and put it in their bag and not think anything of it.
Or they're super, super cheap too. Some really, really fancy people are.
Yeah.
Bizarre. Well, we were talking earlier about the coronavirus. It was on Jaybird's mind earlier today.
I think it's in the back of all of our minds. Like, oh, I hope this don't come to us.
Well, only because the surgical masks are being sold out at stores now.
Well, it's all over the media, too. I mean,
yeah, every day. I watch the news every night, and it's always one of the top. That and the caucus. That was the top stories last night. I don't know what a caucus is.
The Iowa caucus.
The caucus was big.
I must have read. I was trying to figure out what the Iowa caucus was, and I still don't know what it is.
I got to tell you, I think I'd rather have coronavirus over a caucus.
You're right.
Just saying.
It sounds like it's going to hurt.
It does. I don't think I want whatever that is. Well, the last update, the U.S. has at least 11 confirmed cases of the Wuhan coronavirus. Sounds like a hip-hop group from the 90s, doesn't it? It's killed more than 420 people in China, and so they're trying to contain it.
Okay, so the thing I keep hearing, and I don't know if it's fact or fiction because there's a lot of crap on the internet, that number is super, super low.
Some people are claiming
that. And the real number
Yeah.
would make people freak out.
Yeah.
Well, I think thousands of people in China have it. Maybe tens of thousands of people have it. But so far, they're only saying a certain amount have died, like under 500 have died. But
who knows if those numbers are accurate? We don't know.
Yeah, you'll never know.
You'll never know. It could be more.
They all lie.
But luckily now, we do have the cure. That is the good news. A 25-year-old man who spent 2 weeks in the hospital after being diagnosed with the coronavirus 2 months ago has come up with the antidote. He says what you need to do is drink whiskey and hot honey, known as a hottie toddy.
He really had it, or he's saying he
No,
had
I think
it?
he was documented as having it. He says he used an inhaler which helped control the cough and drank a hot whiskey with honey until the virus was gone. And he says, boom, that's all you got to do. It's not a problem at all.
Well, I drank so much whiskey over the weekend and ate so many honey peanut butter Uncrustables, I feel very safe now.
Yeah, you should have already built a wall of barrier protection
You're
with
good.
all the whiskey you drink.
I don't think,
You're good.
and I have been on such a honey peanut butter run with Uncrustables. I feel very confident now.
You're good.
Yeah.
You could go to Wuhan and have some fun.
Honey and peanut butter sounds so good.
Virginia, I got so many Uncrustables for you. All you need.
I can't. I'm in quick weight loss, but call me in like 3 weeks.
Let me feed what you need.
Okay. There you go. So that's apparently what you do. If you feel the coronavirus coming on, just get yourself a hottie toddy.
All right, I'm not going to feel bad for drinking on a Tuesday.
Yeah, you got to, man. If somebody asks you about it, be like, you know what, coronavirus. Okay.
This is 97.9 WRMF Palm Beach.
Just a minute ago, telling you about the 41-year-old woman in St. Pete that got into a drunken argument with her fiance on Friday night and then smeared dog poo in his face. I still don't know word if there's going to be a wedding or not. Jaybird is out. He said he's out.
He's breaking up with
Yeah,
her.
he's done with that. I always love playing this game, though. If you had something awful that happened in your engagement in that course of it, you can actually call and tell us what it was, and we'll guess if you actually got married or not. Sometimes, you can overlook and you work past that kind of stuff. You're like, yeah, she rubbed dog turds in my face, but we're okay now. We've been married for 30 years. Other times, no, not so much.
I mean, that really is love. If you can get through that and stay together for 30 years.
I mean, the amount of good to offset what she just did. I get it. She's drunk, da-da-da. But look, I've been drunk. I get drunk. I know about drunk. But never before have I taken dog poo and rubbed it in somebody's face while hammered. I still, even as hammered as you might be, there's a part of me that's just ingrained.
I guess
biologically that I could not or would not do that.
You just haven't been pushed hard enough, because I think all of us have the propensity to smear the poo.
No, to me, it's even a weird that you would, even if I wanted to get at somebody that had hurt me, I wouldn't be like going, I need dog poop. That's what I need right now.
I can't say that.
Or if I saw dog poop, I'd be going, you know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to rub that in their face.
I guess the optimist in me says, all right, at least it's dog poop.
That's optimistic.
Well, I mean, it could be worse.
He doesn't want it to be human poo.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it's better than human.
It's better than human. Yeah.
Just try to be optimistic, baby.
You're right. Okay. Yeah, maybe dog I could get over. Human, there's no going back. There's no going back.
That's divorce.
Yeah. So if you got something that plays on that, you can give us a call, 877-979-9763, 877-979-WRMF. Tell us what it was that happened in that engagement period. We'll guess whether or not you wound up walking down the aisle here on the KVJ show. Okay. What do you think? Did it make it to the marriage? We're wondering about this couple that was in the Whacked Out News today. They got into a fight on Friday. She was hammered, and in the course of their disagreement, she rubbed dog poo into his face and got arrested for domestic battery. So I'm just kind of curious, is that going to actually make it to marriage or not? So what we got here, did you have an incident like rubbing dog poo in his face while you were engaged, and did you make it to the marriage or not? Sanea is on here. Okay, Sanea, it says you got proposed to by a guy who stole the ring from his mistress's grandma. Is that right?
Yes, it proposed to me, and I posted a picture of the ring on my finger on Facebook and tagged him. And then I got a message within a few hours from someone I didn't know who said, "That's my grandmother's ring. I just gave that to my boyfriend last month as a token of affection. I want my grandma's ring back."
Oh, what a dirtbag.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, Virginia. That's what we got here. What do you think? Imagine that, because that would be kind of stunning if you're Sanea and you get that message after getting such a lovely ring and getting proposed to. Do you think she was able to put that behind her and still get married?
No, you can't. I mean, he would take it and give it to you. I don't like it.
Jaybird?
Hell no. There's no way. And if she said yes, I have to know why.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say no too, because what I am hearing too is a tone in her voice.
Yeah.
The way
she's pissed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You made me look stupid.
Right. There is still some kind of like stuff that is going on here that is lingering. So, Sanea, did you make it to marriage?
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
Good.
Thank gosh.
Good.
I'm so happy.
Did you drop him right away?
Yes, I did.
Good for
and
you.
I returned the ring to the young woman's father.
Good.
How long were you with him for?
A year and a half.
Well, he does not deserve you, and you're better off, girl.
And
Oh, yes, I am.
what exactly did he say when you said, hey, you stole that from your mistress's grandma?
He tried to spin some lies, and none of them were the same, and he just kept contradicting himself. And I knew there was just no way of getting around the fact that he had done this awful thing to her and to me.
But did he do things that were shady before, or is this kind of one of those things that hits you in the head like a shovel? You didn't see it coming.
Well, he had been a little bit shady before, but that was really where I drew the line. You know, he had lied before, but when you steal and lie, and then you're involving other people, and just, the depth and meaning that a proposal is supposed to have,
Yeah.
and now this is tainted with this crime, there was no way I was getting past it.
No, it's a character flaw, and when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
Always, yes, I agree.
Yeah, well, I did you a favor. Honestly, if somebody ever does something that dumb in a relationship, just be like, you know what, thank you.
Thank you, because I'm glad I saw this now rather than after we got married. I'm glad you showed your true colors as a snake and a thief and a just general creep.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you, Sanea. You got 1-2 you want to throw by us, 877-979-9763. You can't hear it, the KVJ show.
Looking for what's going on in South Florida? Sign up for our KVJ e-blast and stay connected.
Who was your meanest teacher you ever had?
Mrs. Asher, kindergarten, and well, now
She local.
I don't know. I forget I grew up here.
Continue on. Why was she so awful?
She was so mean, man. I remember I painted outside of the lines on this group project, and she screamed at me, and I was so scared that this old woman was yelling at me. And I watched her eat an egg salad sandwich one time, and it shook me. And I don't know, man, the whole thing was, she was just mean.
She wasn't mean because she ate egg salad.
No, but I think she had yelled, and then she was eating the egg salad, and it was kind of angrily how she was eating it. And I think it really made me have an attitude problem towards egg salad.
Is it kind of weird because I think back to, okay, if I had to say mean teacher, my first associations, and I have two, that a lot of these associations, I'm noticing a pattern that they seem to be early primary grade teachers. Now, is it because you're a kid, or are teachers meaner to early primary kid students than they are older kids?
I don't know, man. I just remember it being intense.
Yeah.
But I also remember my first grade teacher and second grade teacher being awesome and nice and very calm and supportive.
Yeah.
Kindergarten was different, man. She lost her cool.
I had in first grade, it's a tie for who the meanest teacher was. I had Mrs. Plank in first grade, and she was Mennonite. They have kind of an Amish look about them, and she would always wear black dresses with just a little bit of white. She wore kind of like that little fish net kind of thing, whatever it is. It looks like almost like a strainer on her hair.
Okay.
And she was very tall, and she would walk around with a ruler, and she would swat you if there was anything that was going on.
Dang.
And she just had the presence, and then she had that well-placed, whatever it was, mole.
The mean mole.
Yes, the mean mole on her face. Like, she just looked like one of those... If you ever see where they do one of those kid movies and they've got the mean teacher, Mrs. Plank fit every single criteria to be cast in that movie.
It was weird because you always hear you color within the lines, you're going to get yelled at. I didn't color within the lines, and I got yelled at. And you're talking, the teacher you're talking about sounds like the principal from Uncle Buck.
Yes, looked a lot. Yeah, Mrs. Plank looked a lot like the principal from Uncle Buck. And then in third grade, I had Mrs. Napier. And she was very, very short with pretty much everybody. But there was one kid in particular, Chris LeMaster, that she would hate on. And I remember he would come up, and you could hear she'd be going, "Chris, your breath stinks." Oh, terrible. But then she would do the weirdest thing. She would always sit up there when we were supposed to be working on a lesson by herself. We would look up, and Miss Napier was always smelling her own shoes.
Really?
It was so weird. Yes, she was so mean. You couldn't call her out on it because she would yell at you.
Well, if I was, what was the kid's name she made fun of?
Chris LeMaster.
Chris LeMaster needed to be like, bitch, you smell your own shoes.
Oh, I know.
My breath has got to be good compared to your foot.
She was big on having to write out phrases on the chalkboard. There always, at one point or another, was at least one kid writing out long sentences on the chalkboard. I remember one time she had so many, because we had 2 chalkboards that went around the room. She had 5 kids up writing sentences at one time.
Wow.
That was Miss Napier.
I had another teacher, and I had this guy for back-to-back years, and he taught math, and he was hammered all the time. And he would get up and sing in these girls' faces this really uncomfortable, creepy song. And finally one girl called him out on it, and then he yelled at her for correcting him. It turned into this big thing.
Yeah.
He called this one kid an Italian name you should not call an Italian person.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote it on the chalkboard and then explained what it meant.
He wrote the insult on the chalkboard?
Yes, it was insane. Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't do that today.
And he raised his voice a lot, so you didn't really learn math. You just kind of learned how to survive in that place.
You just got yelled at.
Yeah.
I think everybody probably had the drunk teacher too. Ours was Mr. Jones. He taught art, and he would get drunk and pull out his guitar and sing a song called "Stu Ball Was a Racehorse."
My man was just jamming
And
out.
then when he would pass out,
Jay Bird would have loved that guy.
he had his coffee cup which had whatever liquor he was drinking there. He didn't fool anybody. And so when he'd pass out in front of the classroom, we'd take broken crayons and try to play a game where he'd throw them in his coffee cup. And I remember he'd wake up and try to take a big old swallow and he'd almost choke on crayons. And then he'd get all upset and start screaming at everybody.
So he would just drink and then jam
pass out
with you?
He would drink, then he would sing, then he would pass out, and then we'd shoot crayons in his cup. That pretty much was every class, every day.
He sounds like a great guy.
Mr. Jones. And I remember one day they came in and escorted Mr. Jones out of the classroom, and he never came back.
We never saw Mr. Jones ever again.
Well, there were some students that were sunbathing out on the roof, and another kid had taken rubber cement and lit his desk on fire, and they decided that at that point it was enough. Mr. Jones wasn't very good at supervision.
Mr. Jones has got my guy beat then.
Mr. Jones is something, yeah.
I will say, though, that it's a big reason why I think I'm terrible at math, because this guy's my math teacher. 2 years. I didn't learn anything.
Well, I just kind of asked because I saw on the news today, first grade teacher in Riviera Beach, her name, she was at Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune Elementary School, got placed under arrest for child abuse after it says they saw on camera her violently shoving a 7-year-old student's head into a wall, knocking his tooth out and busting his lip.
Oh, my God.
That is a hardcore wrestling match move.
Oh,
What
yeah.
is she doing?
I don't know, but apparently she's done it before. The school's principal says the teacher has had at least 4 incidents in the past. Well, then why is she still there?
Yeah, you got to get rid of her.
She's 64 and her mugshot looked like, okay, she might win the meanest teacher ever.
She's got the mean look.
She had the mean look.
Man, she did the Ric Flair and the wall move?
Knocked a tooth out?
Yeah.
Homegirl does not play.
She beats Mrs. Plank and Miss Napier.
Yeah, she does.
Beats mine.
You're so lucky you can say the names of your teachers. I already blew it once. I'm not going to I won't say the name of my math teacher because I know that he is local.
Well, if you see an old woman hit me with a ruler in the parking lot, you know Miss Plank found me.
Oh. Well, how old was she back when she taught you?
She was a spry gal, probably mid to late 40s.
Okay, she may be around still.
So she still had some good muscle tone.
My kindergarten teacher was a little bit older, so I don't know if she's even with us anymore.
Okay.
I don't know.
But the thing I noticed, again, this is a first grade teacher. So
Yeah, a 7-year-old she did that to.
Yeah, you don't have the right temperament for the trade.
That breaks my heart.
yeah, it seems like maybe the meanest or that. And I don't know if it's just they can't deal with the kids and they snap or what.
You always see, too, they always release, at least like once a year, of the school, like a school bus driver being all mean to the kids, too.
Yeah.
Yelling
Bus
at 'em.
drivers, yeah, we had one, we called him Turtlehead, and he was really mean to everybody.
But did you make him mean?
Yes, we did.
Okay, well, then.
We did.
Poor Turtle, because they call him Turtlehead.
Yes, we did. All right, so what was your teacher name and what was the worst thing they ever did? And I'm just kind of curious, are they all third grade or under? 877-979-9763. You can hit us up at the KVJ Show. Teachers losing it, snapping. Is there a correlation? Sometimes their name just fits, too.
For sure.
I mean, Mrs. Plank was just had that. She was a disciplinarian.
It sounds like she would have a mean mole.
She had a mean mole. Yeah, she had the mean mole. She fit the MO.
And there's beautiful moles out there, but there are some people, they have mean face with a mean mole, and they're mad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes it happens. So who was your teacher? What did they do? What grade was it? Somebody said, I had a teacher in 5th grade. He was one of the nicest teachers. Then maybe 2 months before school let out, he just snapped one day and threw a desk out the window.
I think it can happen sometimes.
When you just finally have had enough.
I'm waiting for it to happen to you. You just snap.
Just desk out the window.
The phones don't work.
Yes. Somebody said, I was in the 8th grade and one of our English teachers got fired for making us do satanic chanting, and this was at a Christian private school. Well, that might get you fired. You're right. That's probably not good. Somebody else said I had a 6th grade social studies teacher who always sat the pretty girls along the front row desks, and then he would play with his junk behind the podium while he conducted his lessons.
What?
Whoa. That's disgusting.
He got caught?
Apparently so. I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What grade was that?
6, I think he said. Yeah, that's somebody that should not be around children.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Somebody said I had a mean elementary school teacher who was bullying me. I was so little I didn't even realize it. My mom found out from another parent whose child was also being bullied. Yeah, it sometimes happens. It's weird. Early primary.
I wonder if that was in the 70s or 80s, that text. Because I feel like that happened a lot back then.
Magnolia had a kindergarten teacher that hated me. Remember that?
Yeah.
And she took it out on Mags. Totally was mean to Mags.
I mean,
And then the B retired like she should have done 10 years ago.
I remember back in my old school, a kid peed their pants, and the teacher made the kid take the trash out of the garbage can and wipe it up in front of everybody in the class.
That's terrible.
That would never happen today.
It was an accident.
Oh, of course. They're elementary school.
Poor little guy.
Somebody said my kindergarten teacher was also my dad's first grade teacher, Mrs. Rollins. And all I remember is after open house, my dad telling my mom how mean she was. I was so scared to start school. Turns out, yes, she was horrible. And she didn't care for my dad either, so she was even more mean to me.
Aww.
That is tough. Well, sometimes that happens.
Think about it. Teachers are humans, and in every profession, you're going to have somebody that goes off the rail that's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Radio has Virginia.
Yes. Mm-hmm. In 7th grade, we made our teacher go crazy, and they started throwing grapefruits at the class.
Grapefruits? That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Those things are heavy.
They are. They hurt too. Kumquats.
Yeah, kumquat would.
You ever
hit
have a
in the right
kumquat
spot.
hit you in the forehead? It is very painful.
Really?
Yes, I've had it.
I've
The
not.
worst fruit to throw, though, the pineapple.
Oh my God! It's got horns. It's got
Yeah.
fruit horns.
Yeah, that's a serious weapon. Ari's on here from Boca. What is it your teacher was throwing at the students back in the day, Ari?
So when kids weren't paying attention, the guy was known he loved to walk around on his tiptoes, and when people weren't paying attention, he would pull a sock off his foot and he would throw it at the kids. And while it sounds a little disgusting and semi-mean, what's ironic, though, is that when he was teaching that class, so many kids were paying so much attention to him, wondering what he would do next, that a lot of those kids who were so focused on the lesson plan ended up having probably one of the highest grades that teacher taught in that classroom.
How about that, huh?
All right. It's kind of like one of those movies. There's the teachers.
Positive side effect.
Yeah, it's doing kind of like that weird teaching lesson.
Yeah. Boy, if I could have one piece of audio, I would love to have Mr. Gong singing Stew Ball.
Me too. Is that how he talked?
Oh, Stew Ball was a racehorse. Yeah. We'd be like, oh, look who's drunk. And I wish that she was mine. Instead of drinking water, old Stew Ball drank wine. That was
He's drinking.
The horse drank wine?
The horse drank wine.
Damn.
That's how Stew Ball went. He would sing it like every day. We're like going, oh boy, here comes Stew Ball.
I'm sorry, but I don't think you had a bad time in that class.
No, I love Mr. Jones's class. Oh, Stew Ball was a racehorse.
Did you miss a segment from the KVJ Show? Find it on kvjshow.com or soundcloud.com/KVJ Show.
Talking about your twisted teachers. What grade was it? What did they do? What were their names? It all seems to like fit together in some kind of beautiful pattern here. Somebody's saying that I had a teacher that was throwing knives into the wall one time. And they finally had to remove them.
Knives?
Now, were they training for something or just going through something?
They're going through something, yes. And the whole class was witness to it.
I mean, it's one thing if you're like maybe training to go into the circus or something. But if
Yeah.
you just got out of like a breakup.
I was telling the story about the art teacher I used to have, Mr. Jones. He would get drunk and then he would start to sing on his guitar, and then he'd go pass out, and we'd throw crayons in his coffee cup.
I don't hate this guy.
Well, the funny thing about it was I just started singing the song. I still remember verbatim the song he would sing every single day. It was Stew Ball was a racehorse, and I just thought, you know what, let me just see if there's a real song named Stew Ball. It's a Peter, Paul, and Mary song.
No way.
Yes.
It's real?
It's a real song. I never had any idea.
He was also on Goofballs and Weed, too, this guy.
He might have
He's
been.
listening to Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Here's the song he used to sing to us like every day when he'd get hammered.
I don't hate that song either.
That's what you would
That is peaceful.
That's it. I think you would have loved Mr. Jones.
I don't think he should have been teaching kids, but he sounds like a cool guy to hang out with.
Oh my gosh! Wow. So, what are those big lifetime milestones that people who are younger look towards? You know, for my Gen X, at a certain age, you're going to get married, you're going to get a house, and you're going to have kids, and all this kind of stuff. And you know, we kind of dance and fit these little patterns, but they say that that is not necessarily the case today. They say that the traditional lifestyle milestones aren't really that important to younger generations today. 61% of Americans say that a lot of the traditional life milestones they don't even subscribe to anymore. Things like saving for retirement, getting married, having kids, and buying a home, not really something I even look towards anymore. That's interesting. They say the main reason people are putting off those things is because of personal insecurities, not being financially stable, being with a partner who doesn't prioritize those things, paying off student loans first, and they say that delaying those things is something that we do so that we don't feel like the pressure to do them. They don't like the pressure of it. They don't tell me how to live my life. I live my life any way I want to.
Everybody's different, man. Everyone's going to, no matter where you're at on this planet, everyone's going to be slightly different on how they're going to develop and get to the end game.
I think more than ever that is the case. I think that we used to have more of a get in step with the rest of society type of society, and now we have a society where they really encourage you to be you. Like,
listen to your heart. What does your heart tell you? Like if you've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and have a house and a little white picket fence, then follow your heart and do that for yourself. But if that's not your dream, it's okay.
If your dream is to make a chocolate river, follow that dream.
If you don't want to be married, if you want to just be a single person and travel, make that your life. You don't have to fit into some box.
Yeah, and it's encouraging. I think you're seeing that. You know, even just in the Super Bowl, they had that ad of the first female coach. She's a offensive coach with the San Francisco 49ers, and she is just saying, hey, look, I just wanted to be a coach, and so I went for it. You know, people are saying, oh, you can't be a coach. You're a woman. And no, that's not the way anymore. You know, so that's why I think a lot of the traditional, lifetime milestones, just people aren't really caring anymore. Do you
have any milestones you want at this point in your life?
I did at some point. I really wish I hadn't. I really wish I'd had a different tone. I had thought probably the engagement, marriage, that thing I'd seen and observed a lot from my parents. And I'm like, okay, at a certain age, you get engaged and you get married. And I don't regret. I bought my house when I got to South Florida. I don't regret that. That was fine. I don't know if that was any pressure. I thought it was a good financial decision to do so.
But marriage, you think you might have?
I think so.
Waited off.
I think that was definitely something. Not only did I have what society is saying, but if you've come from certain religious backgrounds,
sure,
they will have different precepts as well that are laid in that are very heavy to. Okay, this is just what you do at a certain age.
Is it possible you would not get married, but just do a lifelong commitment kind of a thing?
I'm happy that I am, in a legally binding marriage. All that's all good. I've got no regrets on it. But it'd be interesting if I were growing up in this new attitude, how I would be different at this age if I had gone without all those kind of, it's just kind of what you do, Kev. Come on, step in line.
I tell Mags all the time, do not step in line. Do your own thing. You don't have to get married. You don't have to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You don't have to have kids. You just have to figure out what makes you happy and find joy and find delight in your life. Having the house and the kids and the husband and all that, I mean, if that's not your dream, it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think more and more people are saying that. That is the way a lot of the people today are growing up. And so that's why you're seeing 61% of people saying, yeah, I don't buy into all that stuff. So there you go. I think people, too, the one thing that they're often saying is that we are less materialistic. I know you wouldn't necessarily believe that in South Florida. But instead of actually having all these possessions, people today are very much into experiences. And so let's go on ahead. Instead of buying that fancy car, let's go to the Super Bowl.
Let's travel.
Yeah.
Instead of buying that fancy car, let's go look at a fancy car. We'll experience it.
Alyssa has got a chance to get something great here.
Are you
He's
okay?
on from Delray.
No, I don't think I am.
All right, Alyssa got something nice for you. It's called the X Multiplier from the Florida Lotto. It is a book of scratch-off tickets worth $300 for you, okay?
That sounds awesome. I'm kind of like really in shock right now.
Well, you're crushing it.
Just kind of sitting there and be like, what is going on? I don't get all this.
You're going to win cash. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a lot of scratch-offs. You're going to win cash. That's awesome.
We feel good about this round.
Yeah. And
I don't know, love you guys so much. It's I listen to you guys every morning when I wake up.
Aw.
well, you know what?
Very kind.
I'm
We
now so
love
happy
you.
that you won because people that hate us that call and win our prizes, I hate to see that.
They exist too, and they're so mean to our sweet Dennys, and then
Yeah.
they somehow win.
And there's nothing I can
It
do
is
about it. I'm like,
so
oh.
unfair. Oh.
Yeah. By the way, you guys suck. Click.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
it happens all
They
the
just
time.
took our prizes.
They yell at Dennys for the crazy crap mean
That's
Virginia.
the worst. Yes. So,
That's messed up. I say something insane, and then Denny's gets yelled
It
at.
happens every damn day.
yeah. Well, Alyssa, we're so happy that you won. Switch up your hands. Otherwise, you might have one bicep that gets a lot bigger than the other. So you want to even those things out. And you let us know how much money you win off this, okay?
I definitely will, definitely.
Oh, good luck. I hope it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Thousands.
I was going to say thousands. Why you got to
Well,
cut her so short?
I don't know.
Hope you win tens and tens of dollars.
No,
Yeah, I know.
I hope you win it all.
I hope you win a bundle of free tickets.
Love a little positivity here. I thought this was kind of cool wrapping up the Super Bowl. Chiefs defensive lineman Derek Nottie is celebrating their Super Bowl win by covering the adoption fees of over 100 shelter dogs in the Kansas City area.
Aw.
One estimate put the total between $10,000 and $30,000. So he's putting his money to a good place. So some really positive stuff if you love seeing dogs getting adopted or found. Yesterday we had the story about that woman that discovered her dog from drinking beer. It was on that Bradenton Brewery's beer can.
That was the coolest.
Yeah.
And you had the story today about the one woman who put dog poop in her face.
Her fiance's face.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. I'm not all right. Oh, no.
Oh, no. He doesn't have the thought of the day ready.
Well, it's a new feature. I get it.
I didn't know what time it was. The computer's dead. I don't have a clock.
And he's got a bad back. Anytime he wants to leave the studio today,
Yeah.
he's been crawling around on his hands and knees.
Just another interesting day in the life of the bird, huh?
Love one another. Your sister, your brother, your father, your mother. Love one another. That's off the top of the dome, dog.
We could tell.
You're listening to the KVJ Show on 97.9 WRMF.